Everybody, welcome back. Another live stream, and yes, what are we covering? We're covering running adventures, and this is all about the quest. Introducing the quest. What type of quest? The fetch quest. I know what a few of you are thinking. Fred, there's something wrong. Today's the day we make an adventure. You bring a map that's numbered and labelled, and we fill it out and put stuff in it. And I agree, this is what essentially we've been doing. But every 2 months, we're going to go back to the quest, to the introducing the quest concept. But don't feel bad, because we're going to make an adventure tomorrow as part of the Game Master preparation. Today, instead, we're going to look at specifically pulling apart the fetch quest, giving you some information, and making a great, huge resource for you. Okay, so don't feel bad. You're not losing out. I'm just giving you a little bit more. That's all it is. That's all we're doing. Okay, so grab some food, some drink. Make sure you're comfortable. I've put up a poll. Feel free to take part in that poll. And we'll get into this fairly quickly. Make sure that you are prepared. I know I am. Haha. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about tabletop role-playing games, and today's specifically about introducing the fetch quest. You're not fetching a ball, you're not fetching a newspaper, you're not trying to get your slippers or a beer from the fridge. No. We're talking about science fiction and fantasy fetch quests that you might use, because none of the things I just suggested are that interesting. So I'm totally aware that none of you are interested in that. That's cool, no problems. But what I thought it would be good to do is actually, because there are about 8 or 9 different types of quests that you can put in front of your players, I thought it would be good to take those 8 or 9 different quests, okay, those different types of quests, and break them up into sort of a sub-list with examples for each one. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look at 20 or more different types of fetch quests that you could put in front of your players. And then 2 months from now, we'll roll back around and we'll do delivery quests or just destruction quests or something like that. That's what we're trying to do here today. For those of you who haven't figured out from the thumbnail, it was all about Avengers Endgame and collecting the Infinity Stones. Now, I would normally put up a screen so you can see what I'm working on, but I'm not. I'm keeping that to myself for a little bit. For those of you who are wondering, Fred, I came here to make an adventure. You've disappointed me. Okay, I am now never coming back. Don't worry. This is what we're dealing with tomorrow, because as part of Game Master preparation, we'll be dealing with this map location, okay, or something like it that you can build out. But today, instead, we're going to look at making up a list. This is what I tend to do on my channel. I tend to make tools for Game Masters, and they often consist of a list, specifically so that you can use them so you don't have to go and do the work yourself, and making a resource that is easy for you to do. Now, I did this for Nacho Man, who was a patron not so long ago. I did it for all of the different adventure types. I went through all of them, and I gave him sort of 8 different sort of subgroups for each one. And then I gave him that PDF. Now, the PDF, in my opinion, is not that great, but I knew that he was struggling with that, so I made that, and I thought, well, so the rest of you get access to it. We can do better than 8. We can do 20. I think easily we can do 20. So that's what I'm going to do. So for those of you who thought you were missing out on anything, no, you're definitely not. Okay, what I will do is I'll go through some different things that you can kind of consider very quickly right now, and then you're going to throw a whole lot of ideas at me, and I will write them up. If I leave anything out, you'll include them. So to make it clear, when you're dealing with an adventure where there's a fetch quest involved, this is a quest when the characters have to get something from another location, and it's potentially a long way away, and they have to get it for somebody else, not for themselves. The fetch quest is for somebody else. Okay, the attainment quest is when you go get something for yourself as a character, player character. So this is why I'm using the Avengers Endgame as an example here, and then the thumbnail, because you have to get the affinity stones, and really it's not for yourself, it's for everybody else who got snapped away, so you can bring them back. We can look at things like retrieving a lost artifact, collecting healing herbs, a missing key, trying to find or collect a missing key, a starlight stone that needs to be retrieved from a mountaintop maybe, rescue missions. This is a retrieval quest, this is a fetch quest. Okay, very much like the retrieval concept. You've got the royal decree, and we can build that into delivering, so not so much delivering, for fetching an individual of we'll get there. Okay, there's the cursed amulet that you have to fetch or retrieve, okay, for somebody else. You have the dragon scale, you have something lost in time, you could have crystals, you could have an eternal flame. Maybe you're dealing with something from the past, so you have to go back in time, deal with mysterious powers. Maybe you're dealing with a spirit stone, some sort of elixir. Could be, I don't know, anything you like, okay? Maybe a compass, maybe a sacred scroll, finding a heirloom, or a family heirloom, an expedition somewhere, okay? There's lots of different types that we could look at, and we're going to build them out today. That's the job for today, okay? For those of you who are wondering, oh, have I just missed out on a good deal? No, you have not. Not at all. Not at all. Now, when we're making this list, try not to be too specific. The idea being that we try to be as general as possible. The hat's got to come off. The reason we're being as general as possible is because if we are general, then you can use it for other things. If you're too specific, we lock ourselves down. Okay? All right, so hashtag, what are some examples of fetch quests? Now, I've done some homework already, by the way, for those of you who are wondering. I did some homework yesterday, so we'll see how you guys do. We'll see how your stuff stacks up against what I put together. I know you're going to blow it away, because you always do. Okay, the Cax Max. You have not missed anything. Do not worry. Thank you for being here, Fred Huber. Fred Huber is a patron. I do appreciate you being here. We were chatting yesterday, actually, about all this sort of stuff. That was just me coming up with a campaign starter before he changed the thumbnail. That's true, yes. I did change the thumbnail because I was trying to think, what's my example? Fetch quest, Avengers Endgame. It's pretty easy. Okay, so you've got here Pale Rider. Hello, Pale Rider. How you doing? A wizard needs you to fetch a lost familiar. What he does not tell you is that the familiar was lost in a Medusa's lair where it was turned to stone. Okay, that's very, very specific. But we'll take this idea and we'll see what we can do with it. Put this into the pot along with everything else. For those of you who thought you showed up and you're not getting anything out of this, I just essentially went over pretty much all the different types of fetch quests you could potentially have. I mean, there are definitely variations on that, but I've already done that. So you haven't lost out on anything. Trust me. Okay? I was very much aware that a lot of people wanted it all in the very first presentation. And we've done that in the first 10 minutes. Already done. You're all good. Retrieve a bunch of new adventurers who become adventurers because they were exiled, but they have been atoned for their parents coming back. Okay, so this is a lot going on here. I'm going to have to untangle this thing. Let's go here. Paste. I think that's... Yep. Oh, sorry. I've got my next door neighbour and he's wailing on his saxophone and it's very distracting for me. Power item, artifact or stone. Fetch a specialist, a healer, armourer or another person. Fetch a specialist, yes. Yep, absolutely. Go hunting down a creature for a mage component, a creature for a mage components. Okay, I'll just drop that in there. Sorry, people, I'm a little bit funny in the throat. Go down and a creature and matter of components. Okay, so that's that. We'll just drop this in here. Okay, I'm telling you now, so my list is gone. It's actually, my list is now above 32, but there'll be some repeats here. So we're going to have to do a bit of work to just trim out the stuff that's already been done before. Fetching knowledge. Need to retrieve a book, scroll, map, etc. Yes. Let's do this, because I think you make a very good point that fetching information and knowledge is a really good quest. It's something that comes up all the time, so we definitely want to have a look at that, right? Lost heirloom, the unreplaceable item. Hello, Oscar Gross. How are you? Calrel, how are you doing? Peter. Hello, Peter. How are you going? Okay, so the last heirloom, replace item. So I'm just going to grab these ideas, drop them in here, and then I'm going to start working. And so I'll be talking out my thoughts as I type. Fetch a mirror that transports the party back in time. Retrieve a legendary Holy Avenger sword to go back into the current time to slay the demon lord that is plaguing the world. Oh my gosh, there's very, very specific stuff. That's all right. We'll make it a little bit more general. And will I even get a chance to get to this table, or are you guys just going to spit out? Are you trying to get something with travel restrictions? Okay. I'm not quite sure what that means. I'm just dropping this information in. Okay, so now that I've got that there, let's start near the top. A lost artifact. Let's start with a lost artifact. It's quite a common thing for people to use as a quest. So this is like retrieve an ancient relic or artifact. Artifact from a remote temple. Temple, tomb, or location, or now it's really ruins. I mean, location, it's more like ruins to aid a scholar in deciphering an ancient language. That's very, very specific. And almost feel like the artifacts to decipher an ancient language, I think we can take that and port that into the knowledge information sort of quest. You can combine these, of course. You can do sort of mixes of them. But let's just take this and take that little bit there and go cut here. And then I gotta find, yes, let's do this. Let's put it in here, drop that in there for now. Shifting some things around. Okay, so what I want to do, lost artifact, retrieve an ancient relic or artifact from a remote temple, tomb, or ruins. Now, what happens at that point? It really doesn't matter. That's all we really need, is we're retrieving this, and then the purpose, whether that's to save the world or for ancient knowledge or whatever it is, that's another thing. That's another aspect. So I'm trying to break it all into bits and pieces for those of you who are wondering. Okay? Let's make a notch here. Fetching from the plains to retrieve something unique to a plane existence. Interesting. Pale Rider, let's grab that one and we'll chuck that down into the continuing list, which is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm going to have to I know I'm going to have to sort of separate some of your ideas into individual bits. Calrel, give a party an item for a campaign for later on use, but they must find components to activate its power. Okay. We are getting, what you're doing is you're giving me lots of, most of you are giving me 2 different quests in one. So I'm going to have to pull it apart. Does that make sense? Fetch the mundane, a simple to go here, pick this up and bring it back. Okay. The mundane, I'm not quite sure what we're dealing with that. I'll have to think a bit more about what you're trying to say there, how to sort of structure that. Find the missing pet. Grandma's cat is lost. Yes, yeah, that's the missing pet. Fred, how is it we always go back to let's find the cat? There's always a cat involved. I've noticed that there's always a cat involved with you. Is it because you like cats? I bet it is. You like cats. I'm more of a dog person. I have 3 cats in my house, though, just to make it clear. Okay? I have no dogs in my house. Instead, I have 3 cats. Find King's lost horse who has taken up with a unicorn in an enchanted glade. That's hilarious. Okay, all right. We're gonna get there eventually. So this list is looking. It's rough. She's a rough one, but we're on 41. And okay, now let's have a look and see what we got here. Healing herbs. Journey to the enchanted forest to collect rare herbs needed to concoct a potion to heal a sick friend. And I think that's a fairly basic concept. I mean, it's almost always used by somebody. It's very, very common. So let's use that as it is. As it is, it's sort of it's done. And let's just brew a potion to heal a sick friend. Now it could be a friend, it could be anybody actually. Let's put it in here. Sick individual. Actually, I like the idea of friend because that ties them a lot more to the idea, but it's not as general or individual. It's for somebody else, not for them. Okay. Missing key, lost key. Let's go missing key. So let's see. Find a hidden key deep within a dungeon to unlock a treasure chest, rumored to hold great riches. And key deep within a dungeon. Missing key. I think what we will do is find a hidden key. It's definitely a fetch quest. It's also hidden, so find a lost or hidden key deep within a dungeon, tomb, where else? Castle, or I don't know what else. What's another good word that we can use? I don't want to keep using the word ruins if I can help it, but it's very tempting. Fetch Grandma's Hellcat. Yeah, exactly. I have over 50 different find the cat quests. I believe you. Actually, you were mentioning that the other day, if I remember right. Fetching the Sands of Time. Pale Rider. I like that. It's quite a clever one. Have to travel back in time to retrieve an item, knowledge, etc. So we're going to have to do some time travel ones as well, for sure. I totally get that. Let's. I guess what I'm doing is I'm plunking things in, and I'm trying to figure out how to separate the multi-quest, because, as I said, most of the things you're putting in front of me are combos rather than just one idea. Okay, find a lost or hidden key deep within a dungeon, tomb, castle, or ruins. for important important I'll just put person, that'll do. Okay. To unlock a treasure chest rumored to hold great riches. Well, the problem with the great riches is it actually muddies the water, and it becomes more of a attainment rather than a fetch quest. Remember, the fetch quest is not for ourselves, it's always for somebody else. So we have to keep going back to that. So I will get rid of that bit. Next. Oh, what else? I need to make sure I keep up with you guys. So I'm doing my best. Tomb Raider fetch. You have to retrieve something specific from a tomb. Yes, I suppose. I mean, yeah. Tell me more. We need a little bit more to go with. Let's see. Let's just put a space in there so I know where I'm up to. And then see what you guys. Derelict structure is other place. Oh, derelict structure. That Oscar. Thank you. It's another word to use. Derelict structure. Ruins. Derelict structure. Perfect. Perfect. I do appreciate that. That's very useful. Or runs. I put in the runs. I just got to explore the runs. Anyway, derelict structure for an important person. Okay, so we've got that one. Track down pickpocket who has stolen a rich son's pocket watch that was gifted from a dead father. Okay, that's very, very specific. Okay, so let's, but it is for somebody else, and it is a fetch quest. So we'll put that in. Okay, go find and fetch your cat's soul that got nicked, escaped. Really? The Cax Max. The Cax Max. There is a lot of ideas in here. We should just call this the brainstorming stream. Come here to get a whole lot of ideas that somebody else has come up with. That's really what we're dealing with here, right? There be giants. Have a fetch, steal something. Have to fetch, steal something from a giant lair. Yep. So a fetched quest definitely is a heist. For those of you who are wondering, what about the heist? As long as the heist is not for yourself, we can include the heist. You're doing the heist for somebody else. Noble favor fetch quest. Find lost heirloom to gain noble's favor. Okay. You guys are pretty good at doing this. I noticed you've gotten better and better at it. What is that? Number 48. Good lord. Okay. All right. Quest add up to find item, get it, bring it back. Yeah, but it's not just item. Sometimes it's an item, sometimes it's information, sometimes it's a person. Sometimes it can be even something else, not that I haven't mentioned. Generally, it's going to be an item, a person, or information. You were trying to be as vague as possible. There we go. There we go. You've got. That's the way. Be vague. I just don't want to have to dissect too many of your ideas, people. That's all it is. It just makes more extra work for me. Dear. Okay, let's go back to where I was and see what we have here. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to stick it in here. Okay, sorry people. There we go. All right. Let's prompt that again, and let's go back to where I was. Working through... Where was I? Starlight Stones. Does anybody remember... what's it called? Stardust? There's a movie. We have to travel to a place to retrieve a star or Stardust or something like that. So let's go Stardust, Starlight Stone or Stardust Stone, Starlight Stone, Starlight Stardust. No, I think Stardust. No, let's go Starstone. Starstone. Let's go Starstone because it's like Stardust and it's retrieve, but we won't do it for ourselves. We're doing it for somebody else. Travel to the top of a mountain to retrieve a glowing stone. Stone. Stone that has fallen from the sky. The sky. Fallen. Okay, yep. Now, what it's needed for is seriously unimportant. And there we go. I am a big fan of the Stardust movie, by the way, people. Okay. Not because of Henry Cavill, by the way. Just make that clear. Okay. The rescue mission. We need to do the rescue mission as well. Deplorus Rex. Hello, Deplorus Rex. How are you? Dun dun dun. Quest giver has the last known female of a creature. Find the male. Oh my gosh. I remember a really cheesy, I don't even think it was a B grade movie, I think it was a C grade movie that was kind of like that. And it was a science fiction movie, of course, because all of the best and stupidest story plots come from science fiction quite often. Terrible movie. But it had that very premise. Okay. Neighbouring king kidnaps gorgeous queen from a local monarch. You must steal her back. No wooden horse tricks allowed. Okay, all right. Let's get rid of this. But that's actually not a bad idea. That's pretty good. That's a pretty solid fetch quest. Oh God, so we're on 50 now. I was only aiming for 20 people. I didn't think we need to do quite so many. We'll see how we go. Will there be some repeats? Real world. The last known of a type of pigeon was in a zoo for years while they tried to find a male, now extinct. Okay. All right. I got it. I don't know about that one. Let me go back to where I was working. I've got your idea down though. I'll see what we can do with this. I can see pigeon. I got it. I got the pigeon organised. Right, let's have a look. So we've done the star stone. Travel to the top of a mountain to retrieve a glowing stone. Actually, or stardust that has fallen from the sky. Okay, so now we have the rescue mission. So this is really when you're rescuing somebody from a situation. So brave, dangerous environments to rescue a stranded or lost individual. Really, that's what we're dealing with. We can probably broaden that out a little bit too, now that I think about it. We can definitely broaden that out of just how to go about doing that. I'm just thinking now, sorry people, the brain is tuning, because it's not just about environment, is it? It could be, I mean, a rescue mission can be because somebody has captured somebody, or brave, dangerous dangerous environments, and overcome deadly threats to rescue a stranded or lost individual. I think that's pretty much covered it. Okay, so what else do we got here? Royal decree delivering a... Now that's a delivery rather than a fetch quest. It's not quite what we're looking for. Really need to think about that. This is the thing, is you've got to collect. Hello, Harry. Cool background. I'm glad you like the background. Happy to have you here, by the way, Harry. Nice to... No, this is my background for tomorrow when I'm dealing with making adventures. This is my background for tomorrow. But not today. I'm a tease. I know there's a whole bunch of people in here who like jumping on here and making an adventure with me, so I'm all for it. So I'm going to tease you a little bit. You have to wait for tomorrow for that one. Okay, here we go. It can be rebuilt. You must fetch multiple fragments of a legendary weapon so it can be reforged. So this is the rod of 7 parts, isn't it, really? This is actually a very smart idea. This is actually quite brilliant. I almost want to do that now. Let's do that now. Let's deal with that now. Let's work on that one now. I was going to do royalty, but who cares about royalty? Let's go here. Broken artifact or broken relic. Broken relic. Let's do that. So we're going to go here, find and collect multiple fragments of a legendary weapon, weapon or item so it can be reforged. And that is that one. Yeah, let's include that now. That's done. Well. We're getting there. Quite nice. You can't hear the saxophone? Maybe that could be a fetch quest. Steal the bard saxophone. Here. Followed by a combo. Kill the bard with the saxophone. Steal the bard saxophone. Your contribution has been added to the list. Look, some of these won't make it, but quite often they do. I just I mix them up a little bit. I make them up. I adjust them. I do. It'll be a musical instrument. It won't be a saxophone. Mars Needs Women. Was a cheesy movie. Half of the invading Martians were women. Yeah. Find the parts of Vecna. I'm not terribly concerned about finding parts for Vecna, but I can see where that might lead. What else? Sneak into a mine, steal new elemental cave. What? New element cave in mine. I don't quite know what that means. I'm a little lost. I'll figure that one out later. I'll just jot it down for now. Get the PC's Vecna's head. They always try to install it. Yeah, that's a nasty trick though. For those of you who haven't figured it out, you never want to chop your own head off and put Vecna's head in place. It's not going to work. It's okay. Dear. Oh, okay. So Peter, you're trying to get my attention there. I can see. Give me a second. Give me a second. The impossible mission. You must retrieve something that sounds impossible, like a ray of sunshine or a dragon's pleasure, the smell of wet grass. Oh my gosh, the impossible mission. Okay, I get it. Let's That does sound like an impossible mission. Like, how do you actually do that? So Harry. How about a chariot? Magical, super duper traveling speed. I suppose it could be a chariot. It can be anything you like. We're just creating the framework for you guys to do the rest. I was thinking about, thinking of the two-handed axe in Skyrim, the companion's quest line. Were you? Oh, were you? I don't know. Okay. All right, Peter, what have you got here? You've put in a few posts, so you're trying to get my attention. So let me deal with that, and I will repost the prompt, and then I'll go back to working through my list here, which is getting quite big as it happens. Paste. Right, so, Peter, I have an idea. I was thinking that you take the best monsters adventures and kind of create and make a campaign. I see where you're going with this. Some of the videos that we've created with you. Well, yes, I suppose you could do something like that. And then do a lottery system and pick a handful of us to run an adventure, a one-shot or a campaign with you on YouTube. Peter, I just don't have time. I just don't have time to do that. And I don't even, Peter, I don't even offer patrons the opportunity to play a game with me. The only people I play with are my friends. Do you know what I mean? I don't charge people to play games either. And maybe that's a folly on my part. But the problem with a campaign is a campaign needs to be specific to a group, in my opinion. I know Wizards of the Coast puts out these big campaign books, but frankly, I don't like them very much. I would much prefer that we focus on, and we'll do this next week and obviously tomorrow, is make short adventures that you can put together like Lego bricks and create your own campaign from them. That's why I'm doing it. I'm trying to convince people that you don't need really me. You don't need Wizards of the Coast. You don't need Kobold Press. You don't need Paizo or third-party publishers. That you can make your own adventures very quickly. You essentially don't need anybody to create your campaign for you or anybody to create adventures for you. That you can do it yourself. This is why we use Dave's Mapper. This is why when we do an entry for a location, it's very, very small and you know, it gets rid of a lot of the fluff that you won't necessarily... How many times can you describe a cave? Do you know what I mean? It's another cave with rough walls. It smells. It's wet. So this is why I do this. This is why the Running Adventures is now called Game Master Guide, because I know people get a little bit lost. But you'll notice in the title of the live stream, it's always adventure. We're dealing with fetch quests right now, but the idea is that all that stuff that goes up onto Patreon or is in these live streams, you can poach and use, that you don't need anybody else to make this happen. Does that make sense? With some of the idea, help you create, yeah. So this is one of the things you've got to understand is I'm deliberately making a list of fetch quests and different types of quests so that there is something out there for you to use. So that when the time comes and you have to come up with it for yourself, you don't have to. You just look through the list and you pick the thing you like. You eliminate the I am stuck problem. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Let's go back to where I was currently working. And I believe Pale Rider's just added another one. The false pretense fetch. Party is sent to retrieve items under false pretenses. I think that's brilliant. For example, the power stone that they have been gathering will be used to free the chained god. This is actually a really, this is something you don't want to use too often. If you were to use this as a trope too often, terrible things. Players do not trust you anymore. You don't want that. You want them to get a false sense of you are on their side, because you pretty much are, but you are also there to mess with them in their head a little bit. False pretense. I think we'll call it false pretense. And I like it. I think it's brilliant. Brilliant. Well done. The party is sent to retrieve items, a person, or information under false pretense. Brilliant. Love it. Awesome. Let us make sure that goes where I was last working. Putting it right there. That's where it belongs. Okay. Dun 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 dun. Retrieve a tadpole from a mind flayer's nest. God help you, you sick bugger, you. Cal-Rel. I don't know. Are you trying to get them killed? I feel like you might be, just a little bit. Okay, there's a problem. I had assumed we were just going to be sticking with getting to about 20. We're not going to be well beyond 20. You keep doing your thing, guys. I will keep working through here. No problems. And so Peter, does that make sense? If it's not obvious, my channel doesn't make a lot of money because I'm not selling anything physical right now. I'm selling a process to people, and selling it cheap, like you just got to watch a video or a live stream to pick it up, and you see how we do it. So that's something to yeah, just so it was clear. Okay, now let's keep going. Royal decree. I don't know about royal. I think royal delivery. It's more like delivery. Deliver. No, that's not right. Let's get this. Let's okay, so yes, this isn't going to quite work. Is there a way to salvage it? I don't know that there is. I haven't been able to think that one out. But let's go cut this, and I'll think about that some more, because that doesn't quite work. Delivery and fetch are different. They're going in opposite directions, really. So, okay. So, I didn't think about that, did I? Cursed amulet. The cursed amulet. Retrieve a cursed amulet from a haunted castle to break a powerful curse afflicting a village. It's very, very specific. But how is retrieving a cursed amulet from a haunted castle or anywhere else? Tome, temple, or ruins. It doesn't make sense. Why is retrieving it going to help? Really, it's more the destruction of an amulet that would work. So, again, Not a terribly useful one. Okay, I'll have to think more of a think about that one. It's a big question mark on that one. Not too sure about that at all. Let's move on. The wax to grow your hair on a bowling ball only works on bowling balls. Kidnap fetch. The party has to kidnap a person or creature. That's actually that's actually brilliant. That's very good. Hello, Conan Burns. How are you? This is where I think Pale Riders. So Conan, even though my philosophy, you might like my philosophy, it is not a philosophy that a third party publisher should be involved in. Do you know what I mean? Because it really doesn't equate to being financially viable. But at this present time, as far as I'm concerned, that is where my head is at. Kidnappers. Yeah. The party has to kidnap a person or creature from a secure. Doesn't actually have to be. It doesn't even have to be a secure location. To be when you're kidnapping, you're ransoming. So we've got to have the ransom in there. The party has to kidnap a person or creature from a secure location to be ransomed. Ransomed by a third party. Okay, so I need to get rid of some of this. It's not going to work otherwise. Ransomed. Ransomed. The characters. Let's do this. I'm almost there. Oh, I think I've almost got it all figured out. Characters have to kidnap a. We can just put individual or creature from a secure location to be ransomed by a third party. Probably not something they want to be involved in, but maybe they are. Maybe this person deserves to be ransomed and kidnapped. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be little children. Okay, it doesn't have to be women and children or somebody who's innocent. It could be something else completely. So let's have a look. I think that's a good idea. Well done, Conan. I think your philosophy is sound. A man after my own heart. Like any skill, creative, game mastering, improving. Have to be practice. Yes, we're all about. This is why you do the practice stuff. Delivery. They are handed the item at the start. Take this. Yeah, that's exactly it. Delivery is different to fetch. You have to go and get something. Fetch is different. So that's why I want to stay away from getting the two mixed up, because we'll come back to delivery quests we can do another day. In transit. Or kidnap in transit. Yeah, it could be in kidnap in transit. Could be that. Yeah. Yep. And the belly of the beast. Have to retrieve something or someone a monster ate. I think that is... God, Pale Rider, you're on fire. Aren't you on fire? No, you're in the belly of the beast. Let's do this. Let's see. Belly of the beast. I almost feel like, you know how I feel about having long tag names. I don't like them but belly of the beast is probably the most appropriate thing to use. Characters have to retrieve something or someone a monster ate. It's very good. I like it. Brilliant. Retrieve is so that the employer can get you to get the bits to destroy it, convert it. Yep. The double cross. A merchant hires players to get him zombie. Player return. The merchant men steal it from the players, set it up. Future grudge. Arc story. Oh, there's a lot going on there. Instead of ransom, political power to stop a war. Yeah, but a ransom doesn't have to be just money. The ransom, what the ransom is, could be anything from free somebody to, a bargaining chip. Ransom doesn't always mean you pay them money or gold or something like that. Could just need information from the kidnappers, individuals, general. Yes, that's true. That's true. That's very, very true. I agree. All right, let's keep going. I'm going to put the prompt in again so that I don't lose my space, because if I keep putting the prompt in, that'll help. And paste. Bam. Let's see. Where are we next? Dragon scales. Venture into a dragon's lair to retrieve a scale rumored to possess magical properties. Yeah. Yep. It is a very standard trope. For those of you who remember Dragon Slayer, an old Disney movie, not a very good movie, but like one of a kind, in that there aren't that many movies that are like that were made back then. We had the story of the dragon and slaying the dragon. It's mythology and folklore and so forth and legend. But we never really had a movie as such that sort of focused down on that concept, that trope. And Dragon Slayer does that. And that's exactly kind of where it was at. It's also, too, the dragon scale is definitely the fetch concept. But then there's the dragon slay, which is more of a destroy or kill quest. It's a kill quest, basically, right? We're not doing that today. We're just dealing with the dragon scale. I like that idea. What about lost in time? Travel through time to retrieve a lost artifact before it falls into the wrong hands. Oh my. It feels like so many time travel movies, this one. Yep, it does. It feels very, very similar to so many things I've seen before when I think about them. Okay. Well, I'm glad somebody else... I'm showing my age. Like, I'm 52, so I watched Dragon Slayer when I was a kid. And I have a copy of it in my library of movies as well. Oh, Jurassic Park. Have to retrieve a unique creature from a new unique location. I'm thinking of Isle of Dread, Hook, where you capture dinosaurs. Yeah, I did this with my group. And they loved it. It didn't last that long because we kind of got sidetracked. Probably a product of my mistake, understanding that they really liked the idea of wrangling animals and beasts and dinosaurs. Jurassic Park. The characters have to retrieve a unique creature from a unique location. For a theme park. Yes, that's very much Jurassic Park, isn't it? Dun, dun, dun. Got that one there. Retrieve a vial of water from a pool. A drow dancing in under the moonlight. What are we dealing with here, Cal-Rel? I am lost as. I'm not sure what I'm dealing with here. Fetch poison in an apothecary. That seems to be the thing that everybody wants to do, right? Let's grab something that's poisonous. Retrieve a vial of water from a pool. A drow dancing in the moonlight. I am so confused by that. Well done. That'll put me to work. I'm going to have a lot of time at some point to figure out all that. Anyway, next. The fetching poison in an apothecary. I feel like we're dealing with stealing. Stealing, aren't we? Really, we're dealing with stealing. Stealing. A poison from an apothecary. Come on, don't let me do that. Okay. I'm not sure what we would call. Yeah. Okay, I got it. Yes, Dragon Slayer was a delivery quest. Wizard apprentice action from his master. He got, yeah, that's very, very true. But the woman in the movie is collecting dragon scales. I think that's what I was trying to point at too. You know, the woman in there actually collects the dragon scales to create a shield for him. So that was her quest. A quest that's not spelled out. It just happens. And also a particularly nasty and dangerous quest, as it you know, I think they sort of skipped past just how dangerous something like that would be. Maybe they filmed it and they just never included it in the movie. Thought it distracted from the rest of it. Okay, so not dealing with dragon slaying right now. Enemy, the king only thing is the enemy. Okay, I see where you're going with this. Alright, next, let's move on. What do we got up to? We've got up to 64 and we're almost, I wanna call it quits after about an hour. And I want to show you kind of roughly, this is not complete, okay? But I want to show you what we've been working on. So I'll do that in about 2 minutes. 2 minutes, I will show you what is down on the document. It is not finished in any way, shape, or form. Because I thought I was dealing with 20 items, not 60 something. Okay. So yes, let's do that. So what about crystal collection? Journey deep into a crystal cave to retrieve a rare crystal needed to power a magical barrier. Why does it need to be very specific to? It's really just retrieve a. What is the deal with that? Retrieve a rare crystal needed to power a magical barrier. I don't know that I want to include all of that. I feel like, is that actually necessary to it? When you retrieve a crystal, what are you usually trying to achieve? What do you want the crystal for? I know. So yes, a rare crystal needed to power a magical barrier is a very huge. It's a huge trope. Or make a magical artifact. Magical item. Make a magical item. I think that's where, this is usually what we're going to use the crystal for. Needed to power a magical Not so much a barrier. I think that's too specific. Needed to power a magical artifact, or make a magical item. I think that's more where we want to. That's where we want to go with that one. I think that's where we'd go. Go to hell. The party has to retrieve a soul. Oh, okay. I like this one. Yeah. Let's grab this here. Damnation. Yeah, power source, key, ritual component, object of authority. Yeah, there's a lot of things that it's going to be. Yeah. Yeah, Oscar is a good point. I can add in a lot more than that, for sure. I agree. Let's grab this. And paste. I was hoping I was going to have this ready, done, and finished for you guys on Patreon, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. It's a key, ritual component. Yes, let's include all of those. How would I do? Journey deep into a crystal cave to retrieve a rare crystal. Needed to power a... Needed as a key. What was the other thing that you had mentioned? Key and okay, needed as a key. Ritual component. To power a okay, needed as a key ritual component to power a magical source or make a magical item. That's pretty good. Like it. Good, nice. Ancient artifact. Retrieve a piece of technology from a lost and dead. Yes. That is a very common one, isn't it? That comes up so often. So, technology. Okay. Retrieve a piece of technology from a lost and dead civilization. Yes, absolutely. Love it. Good. The sword from the stone, yeah. Crystal wood power. Yes, absolutely. Okay, now I'm going to show you, for those of you who have stuck around this long, I'm going to show you the document that I've been working on since I've been holding back on it. I've been working in the background. I knew that you guys would be throwing a lot of ideas at me and I needed to be able to keep focused. So this is why I did it. I've kind of done it this way. Also too, I don't think this is a complete list. Not to save myself at all. It is definitely not a complete list and it needs a lot of work. So we have the lost artifact, retrieve an ancient artifact or relic from a remote temple, tomb or ruins. That would be our first one. Second one, healing herbs. Journey into the enchanted forest to collect rare herbs needed to brew a potion to heal a sick friend or individual. Missing key, find a lost or hidden key deep within a dungeon, tomb, castle or derelict structure for an important person. Starstone, travel to the top of a mountain to retrieve glowing stone, to retrieve a glowing stone or stardust that has fallen from the sky. Rescue mission, brave dangerous environments and overcome deadly threats to rescue a stranded or lost individual. Broken relic, find and collect multiple fragments of a legendary weapon or item so it can be reforged or remade. I think that's, yeah. False pretense. The party is sent to retrieve items, a person, or information under false pretense. Kidnapper. The characters have to kidnap an individual or creature from a secure location to be ransomed by a third party. Belly of the beast. The characters have to retrieve something or someone a monster ate. Dragon scales. Venture into a dragon's lair to retrieve a scale rumored to possess magical properties. Lost in time. Travel through time to retrieve lost artifact before it falls into the wrong hands. I'm going to have to find another word other than retrieve because there's a lot of retrieving going on here. Fetch. Jurassic Park. The characters have to... And I think we're going to have capture. It's really capture. Capture a unique creature from a unique location, from a specific location for a theme park. Crystal collection, journey deep into a crystal cave to retrieve a rare crystal needed as a key. Ritual component to power a magical source or make a magical item. Ancient tech, retrieve a piece of technology from a lost and dead civilization. And then these other ones I have not had time to actually kind of fully work through. There's a lot here. There's a lot. And then of course there's all your ideas that sort of start around 34 and just continue, and they are not fully fleshed out. And yes, there's 66 of them. Some of them are probably going to wind up being repeats, but there's a lot. So if you were wondering how many fetch quests are there, potentially quite a few. Quite a few. I thought that would be fun to sort of work through that and see what it looks like, and sort of, give you an idea that, you aren't limited by just a few things. To make a table of something with this it's really quite ridiculous, but I thought it would be fun to give it a go. I'm sure that's going to give you more than enough to work with. Just in the chat alone, there's plenty of stuff. Will this go on to Patreon? No time soon in its current form. Maybe in a short form, yes, but not in its current form. 64 items will take me forever to work through. So, yeah. Bear with me. It might take me a while to get that done and put onto Patreon. But it will wind up there eventually. And for those of you who are not patrons and don't want to sign up to Patreon, you can just use the live stream. There's plenty of ideas there. Yes, we did pretty well. And I have to say, there's a few of you who did really well. Like, core, blimey, did you work hard. Lots of hard work going on there. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening today. I want to thank everybody who took part in the poll. I particularly want to thank my patrons who support me so I can keep running this program every single week. It makes a huge difference that you do so. Without it, it would make it much more difficult. I really want to thank those people who were in the chat. I want to thank Pale Rider specifically, who's done a really good job today. Oscar Gross. Hello, Phil. How are you doing? Fred Huber, who's always here giving some great suggestions. Peter, thank you, Peter, for being here. I do appreciate it. Cal Rel, I think the Cax Max. Okay, don't want to forget Cax Max. I know he was here early on, so Conan Burns, thank you for being here. And if I've missed your name, Deplorus Rex, Harry, thank you, Harry. If I missed your name, it was not my intention to do so. I try to call out everybody in the chat if I can, at least while I'm still small and hardly anybody's watching me. Okay? So wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, maybe you can make your own stuff. Maybe you don't need somebody else to do this for you. Maybe you can do that. Anyway, keep rolling those 20s, and I will see you tomorrow where we will make another adventure.